The Bible tells us that every believer in Jesus is going to go through times in your life that test your faith. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 12 says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you." So the Bible says, don't be surprised when these tests of your faith come. And yet, that's often the very thing we are. We're often surprised. We act as though something unusual or out of the ordinary is happening. And yet God says just the opposite. He says, don't be surprised. This is not out of the ordinary. This is one of the ways of God. Now, what is a test of faith? A test of faith is any need or trial or trouble or circumstance that comes into your life that challenges what you believe God has told you that He's going to do, or challenges what you believe that the Bible teaches about what God is like. So a need arises in your life. You believe it's God's will to meet that need. He's promised. You begin to pray and ask God to meet that need, but as time rocks on and it seems that God's doing nothing, you will find yourself beginning to feel tempted to think things like, maybe prayer doesn't really work. Maybe God doesn't really hear my prayers. Maybe God doesn't care. Maybe God doesn't really love me. Maybe God is treating me differently than He treats other people. And at that moment, your faith is being challenged and you have to decide, what am I going to believe? What God has said, what God is like as revealed in His Word, or what I'm feeling and what my circumstances seem to be dictating to me at the moment. And so the Bible says, don't be surprised when these things happen. Perhaps one of the first tests that we go through is that when trials come, we are tested over what we believe about why God would even allow the test. We begin to feel that God is treating us differently, or God is not being kind, or what good does it do to serve the Lord? But God has said that He is going to test our faith. But if we will pass the test and keep trusting Him, He will bring about some really good things in your life. We're going to talk about those good things this week. So remember, when your faith is tested, keep believing that God is involved, God is at work, and He's going to bring good.